before I even go into this semi review of episode one of season one of the Halo series, I want to make it as clear as day. I am not coming at this from a fan point of view. I'm coming in this as a casual viewer and someone that barely knows anything about Halo. Halo's not my thing. I love a lot of games. This was a Wolfenstein game. This was an Assassin's Creed game. If this was, I don't know, a Borderlands game, I would know something more and I might be more outraged. I really might. But as far as like a casual viewer goes, which I am in this particular situation, I thought it was decent. I thought it was decent. Now, I've heard a lot of people, especially YouTubers online that I really respect, saying that, okay, it was just a woke mess and nonsensical in a lot of different ways. And I feel like maybe nonsensical to a certain extent, but I don't, I wouldn't call it woke. Like it didn't have that feeling about it. And I'll say this, I kind of feel like that's a term that maybe is starting to kind of wear thin, even for me, because I've noticed that there's an anti woke culture with a woke culture now, and you have to be one or the other. Um, I just want entertaining characters. I just want entertaining characters. I'm not gonna hate on anything and everything if they like maybe change a male to a female from a video game story or whatever. Make something a little different, or maybe change. I mean, if it's maybe a race swap here and there, I don't mind that. I really actually don't. So I'm not going to call that woke if they go that way. What I would consider, and this is at least my definition of woke, I would consider that as a Ray Skywalker kind of thing, where you have her being the best at everything and nobody can teach her anything, and there's no uptick to the story where she has to go through like trials and tribulations to get to the point she's at. That's usually what I would call woke nonsense. But as far as this is concerned, I feel like there's equally amount of interesting male characters than there are female characters. I'm not quite sure exactly what all the outrage is about Master Chief, who's played by Pablo Scriber, actually taking his helmet off. Maybe that's a thing in the game. And again, you can roast me on it. I don't know anything about Halo, but I personally thought he was more interesting. Master Chief was more interesting when he actually had his helmet off because we actually got to see some humanity out of him. And that was what the show is needing. He was he looked stiff in the armor as much as his personality felt stiff. Um, they needed something that brought some interest in these characters. And I felt like Pablo Scriber actually did that at the very end when he showed humanity. Um, and that made his character that much more interesting. If there was anything that would hold me on to watch episode two, it would be those moments, not the moments when he was, of course, Spartan and going out there and taking on the Covenant or whatever they're called. Those moments did not latch me into this series, I guess you could say. I thought the background looked really green screeny. It looked like a set all the way around. Um, it looked like the Spartans on this. How do I put it? It's like they had a really good cosplay costume, but not something that you would expect from a really high budget movie. You know what I mean? Like it really felt weak in a lot of ways. It looked like a very uncomfortable thing to wear. It definitely didn't have the flexibility that you would maybe expect to see. I kind of felt like maybe whoever designed that really probably should be fired. I really feel that way because I kind of felt like their armor looked a little cheesy. I've also heard people talk about, well, it's kind of got like a Starship Trooper feel. It kind of does. Um, if there's one gigantic complaint that is a casual viewer of this, someone that's not going in with uh, uh, any reason to hate or like this series, I would say the lack of storytelling and of explaining the concept and what is going on, and maybe the history of some things. I felt like really made this show lack in a lot of different ways. I really did. I didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't understand why that out rebel outpost got attacked by the Covenant. Um, it seemed it seemed kind of just really out there in a way. I thought they were going to explain it, but they never actually did. They never. I don't know who's the good guys and who's the villains. I really don't. What is Master Chief? Is he like brainwashed, or is that how that goes? Like, there's a lot of things that were never really explained. And again, not a fan of Halo, so I'm sure that was explained in the video games. But to me, I just felt like should have added a more better more information to the story. Should have had a really just a better set than what they did. I never understood why, and I forget her name, but she's like part of the army, and she's telling this survivor, that hey, we need some propaganda to say that the Spartans, saved your village or saved you or something along those lines, and killed the villains. And she looked absolutely horrified in doing it. I'm like, why does this Quan Ha actually, I don't know, scare her so bad? Like, this is somebody that barely survived, this attack, someone she'd never met in her life, but she looked horrified by her. I didn't really understand that. Again, a lot of people can say, well, they might have, swapped some people. I don't know if it was gender or so forth or race or whatever it is in this. But as far as the women characters go in this, it's a typical Hollywood stuff. It really truly is. And why Hollywood is so bad at making great female protagonists, I will never understand. If they put a woman in authority, they got to make her just a complete and terrible person. And that's what they did to this Halsey. That's what they did to this Admiral. They made them really seem like terrible human beings, um, which kind of is messed up. Now, as far as this Quan Ha is concerned, I actually kind of liked her character a little bit. I did not like the haircuts. And I can complain about this all day long. It looked like some kind of like futuristic hillbilly kind of look with the whole mullets. Really reminded me of what's his name, Achy Breaky Heart guy, Cyrus guy, Billy Joe Cyrus or whatever his name is. It kind of had that feel to me with it, and I'm like, maybe they could have made the characters look a little bit cooler in a lot of different ways, which was odd because the teenagers that lived in this outpost all had these weird haircuts, but yet everybody over 20 looked absolutely normal. Made absolutely no sense to me. No sense to me. Maybe that's just like a little pet peeve that I got with it. And it probably is. But I'm like, that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, is this like some kind of like initiation thing that you have to do? You have to wear this like futuristic hillbilly haircut to actually become an adult in this outpost or something, because it kind of felt that way. But I mean, the blood, the gore, it's all there. Again, could have had a little bit more information for a casual viewer like me. About the storyline. Who's the villain? Who am I supposed to root for in this? Uh, Maybe explain why Pablo Scriber can't take his helmet off. Might be a good thing maybe to explain as well, because I know a lot of fans are pissed about that. But again, I thought that was his best moments when he showed humanity. And of course, I'm a Pablo Schreiber fan, anyways. Like I loved him as Mad Sweeney on American Gods. Like he's a great actor, and him showing that humanity actually made me maybe want to watch episode two. I don't know if this is going to be something that I'm going to make reviews on every week or so forth. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see on that one. I'm not really invested in it as of episode one. I will give it maybe at least another episode or two just to see how invested I actually am in it. But overall, costumes are terrible. Uh, Backstory is terrible. Um, and just weird haircuts are terrible. In this. Um, but overall, didn't love it, didn't hate it. Totally understand why kind of fans are divided when it comes to this. So we'll just have to see. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments down below why he cannot take his helmet off and whether or not you liked him better with or without his helmet. I feel like I almost kind of felt like that with Boba Fett. Everybody's like, well, Boba Fett should never take his helmet off. True, because he's like a 70-year-old man when he takes his helmet off. Like when Din Djarin does it, I don't give a crap. I think he's better without it. But everybody of course complains about Boba Fett doing it, and I get it because he's like 70-year-old man now. He's not imposing with his helmet off, but that's my complaint with it as a Star Wars fan. Now, as a Halo fan, that might be something that is just the biggest no-no out there. I don't know. I don't know. But somebody in the comments, please let me know. As always, guys, let me know what y'all think about this series. Let me know what y'all think about episode one. Let me know if y'all think that I should even review the next couple episodes of this series. Or if y'all just think this series is just absolute blasphemy towards the game. As always, guys, y'all can catch us on Rumble and on Minds as well. So please check us out there. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, leave the comment down below. As always, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all take care.